What's up guys, this is the Chillskater and I want to welcome you to a new episode of the Shit Podcast. Today we have a guest from the United Kingdom. He is Sam Beckett, he is an XGAMES gold medalist and he is a Alberta skateboarder. So let's meet Sam Beckett at the Shit Podcast. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation. Welcome.
Hey, what's up guys? This is Sam Beckett and you're listening to the Shit Podcast.
Welcome. What's up, Sam? How is it?
How you doing? Yeah, okay. Not too bad, thanks. How about yourself?
Fine. So, when did you start to skate, Sam?
I started skating about... I was 10 years, maybe like 19 years ago.
19 years ago.
19 years ago, or maybe 19, more than 19, 20 maybe.
Okay, in the early 2000s. So what was that reason inspired you in the past to start skating?
I think it was just, there was obviously like the Tony Hawk pro skater generation. And then it was just what everyone was doing at the time, really. Like my kind of sisters, my older sisters' friends, like all the older guys that were around, they were skating. So that's what got me on it, really.
Yeah, I know that feel. And maybe any skater who inspired you? Tony Hawk, Bob Burnkiss, who was that guy?
Yeah, I think like it was just playing the games, so all the characters on the games. But I was like particularly into the transition skaters, so like Bob, Rune, Bucky. Like they were the characters that I like played on the Tony Hawk games, so they were for sure like my favorite skaters when I was growing up.
Okay, that's nice. And since that moment, you knew that you were going to be a vert skater, or how was that?
No, I was just into skate, like all kinds of skating. I didn't really skate transition at all when I was a kid. I just skated outside my house, you know. But I always liked the look of that kind of skating. I just liked all skating really when I was that age, and then it was only maybe four or so years afterwards, 3 years after I'd been skating, that I started skating ramps and stuff. Yeah, maybe that was wrong, but I think that was definitely the first couple of years that I was skating that was just like I wasn't really skating transition much, you know, just like every now and then skating a quarter pipe at a local skate park or something, and then and then after that, I really, maybe when I was 12 or so, really got into like skating transition and then started skating vert like a little bit after that.
Okay, and what about street skating? You also like to skate in the streets?
Yeah, for sure. I think like I like skating everything, really. I always have, but I just focused a lot on skating vert and half pipe. I found like that was like the place where I could play and have fun the most, you know, like, and that was just where I liked playing, you know. That was where I got to like mess around and try more stuff. But I definitely I skate everything, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And what kind of differences can you notice making a comparison between the moment when you started to skate and nowadays? What can you notice about the skate community?
Yeah, there's definitely huge changes. I mean, I guess the online thing is kind of crazy, like Instagram and stuff. Like most of skating seems to happen on Instagram now. You just like every kid is uploading something, and like the way that it's progressed so much is probably due to that as well, because like when I was a kid, when I was growing up, like I didn't really know what was possible until like the pro team or whatever came on a tour and came to my local skate park. You know, that was when I first saw people that were sponsored that were any good at skating. So before that, I didn't even know that like there was these skate magazines and like videos. You know, I probably skated for a year or so before I even got like a skate video or, you know, started going to the skate shop like properly, you know. And then your influences are only like what you're seeing in magazines and people that you're seeing in real life. So I think, yeah, there's a huge change now in the sense that kids can just like look up a skater that they like and then they go to their Instagram and they can see all this stuff of them, whereas like before there's a lot more like you had no idea about this person's life or what kind of tricks they were into doing. You just had to like look out for their video parts or whatever kind of thing in videos and magazines and stuff. So yeah, the internet has changed skating basically.
Yeah, for sure. The social media is crazy. It's a very nice tool for that. And what do you think about the fact that maybe nowadays the skaters don't make like video parts? They prefer to put clips on social media and that's it. What do you think about that? It's a better strategy? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's whatever people want to do, really. I think like whatever medium works with the way that they skate and the way that they want to skate. And I think it's a bit of a shame, you know, like that everything's so instantaneous and like people are so involved with it as well. Like the feedback is instant, you know, like you do a trick and then someone will be like, that was cool, that was whatever, or that sucked, or whatever people want to say about it. It's instantly like you're hearing it back from people, which on one hand is super cool, but then on the other hand it's makes it like irrelevant in 2 days kind of thing, you know. Yeah. Like something will blow up for a couple of days and then it's gone. Whereas and then for me, I really like the idea of making something. Like I never really made like a lot of video parts, but I really like the idea of like a video being made or a piece of something, like a collection of things. Like I feel like I prefer that to just like a one bang on the internet and like a bunch of likes. I'd rather like, I don't know, I do kind of like the fact that you don't get instant feedback from like a video being out there. You kind of like, I mean, I don't know, yeah, I guess the internet has made everything so instant and quick, and in doing so it means that things are also like much shorter lived in that sense too.
Yeah, I agree with you. I also prefer to make a huge video part that maybe can immortalize our talent and can leave like a legacy to the community. I agree with that. But of course, social media
I think skating is like it's not like you can express yourself more fully if you like want to create something that's like a collection of clips rather than just like chucking one thing online. I mean, it's just a reflection of our times, I guess. Like where we are.
For sure. And what do you think about the whole vert skating community? Do you think that is growing? Because maybe like I don't know how many years ago, but it almost disappeared from the XGAMES. And I don't know, what do you think about this?
I think like there's definitely like a love for transition skating going on at the minute. Whether it's like whether vert is like in the same boat as that, you know, like there's for sure a group of people that are taking vert skating to the next level still, and I don't think it's, you know, it's not dead or anything by any means. But yeah, maybe like it wasn't really fitting so much with XGAMES what they needed. I don't know. I mean, in my eyes, like it's more alive than ever, kind of thing. Like it's still there, and there's still people that are like excelling at skating vert. So I think it's still there, and it's still growing, and it's still relevant. Just maybe not in the way that it was at one point with like these TV companies kind of like jumping on contests and like XGAMES style contests, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. So for you, why do you prefer vert skating more than street skating, in your personal opinion?
There's definitely like the number one thing for me is like just flying. It feels like flying, you know? Like for me that's it, you know. You get to blast around, and there's no limit to like how fast you can go, and like it feels like you can just push and push and push until like, you know, you're never going to be able to go like as high as you could push, you know. Kind of, I feel like that sometimes, like you get to go really fast and you get to float around, and that feeling is pretty cool.
That's really nice. And talking about this, what would be your tip to get somewhere, to get out the coping of a ramp, you know? I wonder if I have to ollie the board, or how do you think is a good tip for that, for getting the technique to get out with the
on a vert ramp?
Yeah, for sure.
I think just starting low and like just having control over like scraping your tail.
Okay.
That lower down. But then like, I mean, the old school way to do it is just like right out the top and just kick turn in the air.
Okay.
But I think like when you get to vert, you can't really like ollie. Everything's more of a scoop. So yeah, just figuring out how it feels to like combine like scooping and riding rather than like trying to snap a big ollie, you know.
Okay. I need to practice that. So regarding this, what do you think is like a very nice first trick that we beginners in vert style should learn at first? What do you think?
I'd go for frontside grinds and backside grinds. You know, like if you can kick turn both ways good, then like having a good frontside grind and a backside like 5-0, you know, like a back pivot, it's going to be pretty helpful. And then like axle stalls and rock fakies and little fakey ollies. That's kind of like where I would suggest you start off.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, it's like the basis for the other tricks.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And another recommendation, we noticed that you are also very good for competitions. What would be your tip for deal with the pressure when it comes to skating in competitions?
Yeah, I definitely have had like a lot of competitions where you kind of stress yourself out and you think that you know, like I guess it feels like a big deal that you might not do well, or you fall off, or you don't do what you want to do. One of the things that I've found that helps the most is just like knowing that it really doesn't matter. You know, like the next day is going to feel exactly the same if you like do well or you do bad, you know, like you're going to get over it pretty quick. So there's no point in like stressing out, because in a week you're not going to feel any different. So, and then the other thing that I like think is good to realize is that you're doing it because you want to enjoy that feeling, you know. So if you're doing a comp and you like hate everything about it, then just stop doing it, you know. But like there's definitely like you're there to enjoy yourself and try and do like the best thing you can do. So just crack on and try and enjoy it, you know, instead of being too stressed, because there's really no point in being there if you're you know, if you don't want to, if you're not going to enjoy that moment, you know,
Yes, for sure.
and have fun with it, because then you normally skate better when you're having fun. So
That's really true. I agree with you. And talking about this, what do you prefer to go for a competition thinking that you are going to win this competition, or just by having fun?
Nah, it's very rare that like you go and win. I guess like you go to, sometimes you have like certain things in your mind that you want to do, like certain tricks or certain things, but I guess it's you just feel it all out, like how it feels on the day and wherever. And for me, I never really go to win, but maybe I should think about that more if I wanted to win. But no, I just go to have fun, you know, and you get to push yourself a little bit as well.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe with that approach, the process could be more organic and more natural.
Yeah, for sure.
So you won an X Games in the 2016, is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
And you are the first skater from the United Kingdom to win an X Games, a summer X Games. Is also true? Okay.
Yeah,
that's nice. How was that experience?
It was cool. Yeah, it was a cool experience. I mean, like I wasn't expecting that necessarily, but it was like the couple days before winning, or like before the comp, I kind of felt like, oh, I think I could do well here, just because I feel good at, like, on my skateboard, you know. And I think that kind of confidence is good to have going in to a competition. You're like, well, I think I feel good on my skateboard, so hopefully I'll do all right, you know. But yeah, it was an interesting experience for sure, and it was cool to, you know, obviously, like, it changed things in skating for me a little bit, because then you can kind of like get paid to do what you're doing, which is pretty sick. But also I realized, like, it doesn't matter, like, either way, you know, like, the other 364 days of the year, like, skating is exactly the same, you know, for you and your mates or whatever. So it didn't change like that much stuff in my life.
Okay, that I like what you are saying. But do you think that this is like your biggest achievement in your skate career?
Yeah, I think as far as like other people would like look at, like awards or achievements, I guess like that would probably be one that like people recognize pretty heavily, which is cool. But for me, it was just like, I was just happy to do the run that I did. Like, I think it was more like, it wasn't the winning that was the achievement. It was just like, you know, making a good run and yeah, to have a day where you skated like possibly the best you could skate is nice. It's always nice.
That's nice. And I think that after this winning, the brands came to you, maybe the sponsors. This achievement opened a lot of possibilities for you.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I was kind of lucky in the sense that I was already working, like I already was writing for some good brands, and you know, I've been pretty loyal with them. You know, I've skated for some of my sponsors for like 10 plus years, maybe 14 years. I rode for Monsters. That's like the longest brand I've ridden for, and Vans for like 10 or so, 9 or 10 years. So it's like, you know, I was already working with the brands that I wanted to work with, and it just like kind of helped with them. And then like, I guess there's some other opportunities around it, like with less skate related brands, but not much changed really, to be honest.
Okay. And talking about the sponsors, what do you think? What is the most important aspect to you of having a sponsor? the support that the brand gives to you, the team?
Yeah, I think if you like what it is that they make, you know, like I like the shoes that I get from Vans. That's kind of the sickest thing. And like same with Madness Skateboards, like I am stoked on the stuff that is being made. So for me, that's like one of the most important things is like you want to be stoked on the stuff that you're kind of like writing for, you know, or that you're writing. And then yeah, if you're stoked with the people that are involved in it too, then that's important. Like I think to ride for someone, to have a good thing going with them, there's a lot that goes into it, you know, and it's not always easy because it's like you know, it's not always like bang on the group of people that you hang out with or whatever, and like but I think there's just a few things that have got to be like in place, and just generally being stoked on the brand that you're writing for is one of them, and the people, and you know, if they're stoked on you too, that helps.
Yes.
But yeah, I think like for me the most important thing is like it being something that's useful for you. Like, you know, I wouldn't want to ride for some like company where, you know, I wouldn't want to use the product that they were like giving to me or whatever. It's like, or I wouldn't want to, you know, if it wasn't useful for me and I didn't like use the product, then it would be harder to
Yeah.
to
I know what you mean. I like that. Okay, so you are from United Kingdom. What do you think, or what is your opinion about the skate community in your country?
Skate community in the UK, yeah, the skate community here is really good. You know, we got I think especially after, because I was living in California for a while,
Okay.
it's different, you know, we don't have the weather that like a lot of places do. And especially these months now, it's like pretty cold and wet, and you know, like getting out skating can be quite a mission some days. But there's some good skaters here, and we got a good crew, and yeah, from my experience like growing up in the UK, it's been wicked. Like they're really like supportive, and there's like, yeah, kind of family element to it, which is good.
Okay, so do you think that the only bad thing about the community there, or the skating there, is the weather? Maybe the weather. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we don't have as many parks as
Okay.
and like facilities as like in the States, but for sure the weather's like a limiting factor. But in the summer it can be amazing, you know, like there's just everyone's out and it's nice, and yeah, going on missions and stuff, it can be really good.
Okay. And what about the vibes of the community? Making a comparison between the Californian skate community and the United Kingdom's skate community. Is it different?
It's definitely different, and I guess like there are a lot less people over here making their living from skating. So in the UK, like everything's a bit more laid back, you know, everyone's like super chill about everything, and it's a bit more of a laugh. Like everyone likes to just shout and heckle at each other and stuff, and not that it's better or worse, but it's different in California, you know, like there's a lot more people that are like trying to do kind of serious stuff with it, like go out and shoot and get photos and footage and get like, because there is an industry there that you can like work in, you know, whereas like over here we don't have the same industry, and like there's less money in it, so people aren't like fighting over spots to shoot at, or you know, or like going on secret missions. Like no one really cares over here, so definitely more relaxed. But then I guess, you know, it's pros and cons. Like the level of skating is kind of a bit lower over here, and like the spots that you've got are available to you are less. But I mean, I had wicked group of friends in California, and I miss all those guys out there, and yeah, I still think, you know, you make your community wherever you go, don't you? And like, as long as it, like, generally in skating, people are good people.
That's really true. And you were mentioning something very interesting, and is the industry. Do you think that the industry in your country is giving the support that the community deserves at this moment?
I mean, it's hard to say. I'd imagine so. I just think, like, you know, it's what people deserve, or, you know, skateboarding doesn't owe anything to anyone, but like, you can't like really compare the two, in the sense that, like, you know, there's a lot less skate stuff being sold here because there are less skateboarders than in the States or wherever. So if they're just not making money like the same way they are in the States, then they can't support riders or people the same, you know. Like, it's I think, like, people try to hook up everyone as much as they can, you know, and most people that work in skating are like get that, but you know, if it's just not there, then it's not there. You know, you can't just, like, it has to be worthwhile for, like, brands or whatever to do. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, skateboarding is growing, and after the Olympics, there's going to be more support. For sure. I think it's only growing, and like, we've seen it this last year. Like, there's been a kind of boom of stuff going on with, like, everyone's locked down, you know, and people just want to go out and skate and be outside and stuff. And I think, like, skate shops and skate brands have actually done better than they were imagining to do in, like, this whole thing. So I think there's definitely a resurgence in skating, and yeah, like you say, the Olympics is probably going to bring a whole lot more interest into it as well, and kids are going to be buying skateboards even more.
Yeah, for sure. Are hard times right now, but this is going to be better. And what do you think about the fact of making a living from skateboarding? In a few words, do you think that is difficult or is easy?
I think it's difficult, yeah. I think for me, I feel really fortunate to have been lucky that it's possible. And like, there's definitely some things where you're like, we're in the right place at the right time kind of thing. And kind of got lucky, but it is really difficult, you know. I see a lot of like amazing, really talented skateboarders that you're like, well, they deserve to get paid, or they deserve to be able to make a living doing that. And it's not always the case. So yeah, can be tough. I think it is difficult to make a living doing it, and at the end of the day, like I said, it's something that you do for fun, and it doesn't owe you anything, you know. So there's no real formula to like working really hard and then it's going to work out, you know. And maybe that will change with the Olympics and that kind of stuff, but no, I just feel fortunate that I've been in the situation that I've been in, and I'm very lucky. Like, it's not always the same for every skater, you know.
Yeah, no matter the skills, there is no guarantee of making a living.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, and talking about this, how was 2020 for you? What did you do?
Yeah, it was definitely like different kind of year for me. I spent a lot of time at home, which was really cool, actually. Kind of new concept for me. And I spent a lot of time skating in the UK, which is also not always the case. So a lot more of the seasons. but yeah, it was cool. We actually managed to skate quite a lot in 2020, and we got out on little missions and a few little trips and stuff, and it was cool. I had broke my ankle end of 2019, so the first couple months of 2020 I was on crutches and recovering, so it was cool to be at home for that time, to be like, okay, this is your goal, you know, to try and get better, and then actually having time to like heal, and it wasn't like I was missing out on anything because I was at home like recovering, and as everyone else was at home also doing not much, you know. So yeah, 2020 was actually, like, in a weird way, it was all right, and like we skated a fair bit and actually had a pretty good time skating. Like, just everything was fun, you know. And
yeah,
I guess like not having to travel and not having stuff really took like a lot of pressure off, like,
for sure,
me, especially coming back from an injury. It kind of took the pressure off being like ready for anything, because I wasn't like rushing to be ready for a trip or a contest or anything like that. So yeah, it was cool to kind of like, it was a more relaxed year than normal.
Yeah, for sure. And right now you are perfect of your ankle, of your injury. You're
pretty much, yeah, I'm pretty much there. Like everything feels pretty good.
Okay, that's nice. All right, Sam, the conversation is about to end. One last question and that's it. So what would be your tip or your advice to go for the dreams? What has worked for you?
For anyone really, I just think you just follow the feeling, like follow what it is that you feel is good for you, like what you enjoy. And like I just think if you spend a lot of time doing things that you enjoy, then you're already winning. Like you already nailed it, because you're spending your time doing stuff you enjoy, and you're more likely to have something come of it, like the more time you spend doing something. So I don't know what they say is like 10,000 hours or something to master something, you know, and like you're not going to be sitting there like clocking down the hours. You're just like that. If you're enjoying what you're doing, that'll happen super naturally, and that time will fly, you know. And I just think spend time doing what you enjoy doing, and then you like the battle's already done, you know. You're having fun. So that's it.
That's it. I really like those words. Thank you for them.
No worries.
And thank you for this conversation. It was actually very fun.
Yeah. I hope it wasn't too boring for you.
No, that was very nice. Thank you for that. Okay, this conversation, that's it for today, man.
Cool. All right. Nice to meet you, man.
Thank you.
Cool.
I hope that you have a nice evening and that you can skate maybe today or maybe tomorrow. All right?
Yeah. You too, man.
Thank you. Goodbye for you. Bye-bye.
Okay guys, this was Sam Beckett. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation, and I want to tell you that I'm feeling really inspired with the words and with the advice that he just gave to us in this conversation. I hope that you enjoyed this edition of the Shit Podcast. I'll leave your comment down below in order to know your opinion about this amazing vert skateboarder. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Remember to like and subscribe, and let's stop watching this and let's go skate safe.